morning. It is the 21st of January 2026. Windshield day, driving to Asheville. Actually built more forest, nice area. Everything's nice out there. Anyway, I want to get back again into 1 Peter. The Lord is Holy Spirit. God, the Holy Spirit, is getting me into the chapter. In other words, I'm living inside of the chapter. What does that mean? It's like I see Peter preaching it, writing it, saying it, real time, like I'm back then in first century Christian existence. And we just have a big problem in 2026 in the world, in America, in the so-called Church of America. We don't read the words as they actually are, or we don't understand the depth of the words. And that's the frustration. When I get excited, it's because God takes the word inheritance, reserved in heaven. It's a living thing. It's like you have a portfolio, you have a fund, and it's $20 million, and that's not even a lot of money anymore. But like, you know, it's there, and you know it's real, and it makes you feel secure, right? What is it about money that makes people feel better than people without money, that live check by check? The person who has money set aside or has a monthly income that easily covers their expenses, that person feels secure emotionally in their soul. Now, they may have other problems like sickness. They may have arthritis, or they may have chronic hip problems, or they may have a spouse that's got cancer. So they don't have security in their health, but in their financial situation, they feel secure. People feel secure in different areas. My body, for the most part, for my age, is healthy, right? But I want certain things to improve, right? So I'm thinking about nutrition, I'm thinking about my diet, all that kind of stuff, because I want to preserve my life. I have so much to do with Tree of Life Farms, so much work, physical work. Like, my hands are all beat up because I'm making this campfire site. I don't have a machine. I don't have a bobcat or a skid steer or anything like that, or a tractor. I'm just with a saw, with a chainsaw, cutting things up, burning, dragging, pulling. And it's fun, but it's beating me up in a good way. But it's part of being a human. It's part of being a man with an assignment. I have to do the work. I have to be the manager of it, the tender of the land, the gardener of the land, the cleaner up guy for the land. Like I was telling my wife yesterday, I'm looking at a bunch of trees, wild growth to the right here, and to the left. You go by plots of land in where we live, it's rural, and you see unkept land. It's just wild growing land. A lot of dead trees laying down, especially from the storms we've had over the last couple of years, the wind. But I said to my wife, and people are going to take this probably the wrong way, God is going to judge us for how we managed our resources. So let's say you have 100 acres. Let's say you just have it. Your family has it. It's in the family trust or whatever. But you're doing nothing. Weeds are growing up. Thorns are growing up. trees are dead, laying on the ground. There's no animals on the land. You're not growing anything productively for food. And my wife said, well, that's their land. Yeah, it's not their land. Here's my point. You have 100 acres, but you're not doing anything with it. Therefore, you don't have 100 acres. You don't own 100 acres. Look, like I've said many times before, nobody owns anything. It's temporary. You could have a deed to the land, but you don't own it forever. You own it until you die, theoretically. But even if, like, think about you live to be 90, the last 5. This guy I bought the land from is 97. He couldn't do stuff on the land that he did at 80. He was a very vital, living guy, working hard guy. But toward the end, you get bent over. His back was all messed up, apparently. Couldn't stand up straight. Obviously couldn't work because he's so strong. He was a very strong man, that he worked himself so hard that by the time he got to 90, his body just was tired. It broke down. So he couldn't own the land. So therefore, because he's gone now, he died, they sold it. Because the man who actually took care of the land couldn't do it anymore. So he had the land, he possessed the land, he used the land, he managed the land, but when he got old, he couldn't manage it anymore. Therefore, he didn't have it. He didn't own it. Yeah, he owned it on paper. But what is something on paper if you don't enjoy it, if you don't work it, if you don't make things come out of it, like food or vegetables or beef or eggs from chickens or milk from a cow? You see what I'm saying? Our early settlers that came to America saw the land to work it, make a house out of the trees, till the ground, grow crops for their stomach, for their real food, cows for milk, beef cows for meat, right? That's what they did. They didn't just leave land languish like we do today. The problem with us today in America, especially in places that are remote, people have no vision. They have no plan. Therefore, the land just lies desolate. Well, it's got trees, so it's not totally desolate. So you can use the trees eventually obviously for fire, for heat. You can use the trees for making things. You follow? I hope you get my point. You don't own a thing. You don't own anything if you don't manage it. Like, people don't understand. You have children. We are to raise them up, nurture them in the fear and the admonition of the Lord. Ephesians 6:4. Fathers are to do that. But you could be a sire of children, but not a father. Many men are just semen donors. And I was listening to this report yesterday about China. These, I'll call them Chinese royalty people, are putting their semen into women, donor women, in America to have birthright citizenship of America, but they're really Chinese adversary people. But they got U.S. citizenship. They're going to infiltrate government. They're going to infiltrate our universities, and they're going to try to do bad things. They did it already with the elections. They've done it, bribery on top of bribery of our politicians. They know that politicians are easy targets because you just bribe them or honeypot them. Eric Swalwell. And they're so stupid, the politicians, they go out there and pretend like they're virtuous. Like Gavin Newsom yesterday at Davos. Oh, you guys, he got his hair slicked back, got a nice suit on, got, trimmed up and everything. But he's an idiot because he can't even manage one thing, let alone 10 things, and yet he wants to be president of the United States and do international stuff. That's why he's in Davos. He's a pretender. He doesn't know how to own California, run California, manage California. People hate Donald Trump, but he has like he did yesterday at his press conference, these are the things I've done. He's busy, he's doing things. You can say, I don't like what he's doing, but he's enforcing the law, immigration. You don't like it? That's the law. We got to clean out the country. We got a lot of criminals here. 20 million people came over. A lot of them were criminals, cartels, gangs, right? They're raping our women. They're doing it in Europe. But you need somebody that's going to say enough is enough. Time to change. So going back to my point about the land, you need to look at the land as stewardship. Your stewardship. If you own it, do something with it. Lease it out to a farmer. That's what you should do. Not just let it sit there. Oh, someday. No, someday your grandchildren might take and build a house and do a farm. Maybe. Then lease it out until that day. Because then they get the land having been worked. Animals on the land nutrify the soil. We need animals on the land to improve the organic nature and health benefit of our soil. Right? Right. Because you need their manure, you need their trotting on top, whether it's sheep, beef cattle, dairy cattle, chickens, pigs. They need to be on top of the dirt and make the dirt come alive and cause the soil to be healthy so that the food, the grasses, the vegetables, right? The fruit trees, the onions, the potatoes that come out of that soil have the vital nutrients, the copper and the magnesium in it to nutrify your body so you don't have to take supplements. So this is our problem in America. Robert F. Kennedy flipped the food pyramid over for a really good reason, to get you to shock. What? Of course people, say stupid stuff. They don't know anything. But he's absolutely right. We gotta fix the soil. We gotta have whole grain, real grain, right? We gotta have real beef, grass-fed. So here we go. I'm gonna get into 1 Peter in the next. This is gonna be just my overview of land management stewardship. May God bless these words.